Yo. Thanks for tuning in again. This is the Are You Really Woke podcast. And I'm your host, Breon. And this is part 2 to the connection between slavery and Christianity. So we're just going to get into it. As y'all can see, beginning in the 16th century with the Spanish, Portuguese, French, Dutch, Europeans, it began systematically kidnapping and enslaving large numbers of West Africans and transporting them to the American colonies for sale. In 1702, under the Treaty of Utrecht, I don't want to butcher that, but y'all pronounce that on your own. The same British people became increasingly involved in the slave trade and were accorded a 30-year contract to send nearly 5,000 slaves a year to the Spanish colonies in the Western Hemisphere. So soon, countless cargo ships were crossing the Atlantic, carrying shiploads of shackled Africans to the Americas, then bringing raw materials home to Europe. So by 1750, an average of 10,000 Africans were involuntarily transported across the Atlantic each year. By the time the slave trade reached its peak in the 18th century, the number was up to 60,000 per year. Bruh, come on now. It's estimated that during 300 years of the transatlantic slave trade, between 15 million and 20 million Africans were transported to the Americas as slaves. Of these, more than 400,000 were sent to 13 British colonies and later the United States. We may never know a precise number, but current estimates hold that more than 1 million Africans died on the journey. Hashtag Killmonger. I don't like how Black Panther did that, cause see, I'm tired of niggas selling out to the sellouts, man. Killmonger wasn't no sellout. He was symbolic of us. You know what I mean? That's why he said he'd rather jump out the ship with his ancestors, man. Cause I feel the same, man. You know, I'd rather go down shooting than go down like a bitch, man. Just be honest. So we know that these are the numbers. Basically the total estimates of slaves that was transported in the transatlantic slave trade. So let's look at this map. So as y'all can see, I think they started about down here, or I don't know. I hear a lot of talk about the Gold Coast, Sierra Leone. So as y'all can see though, you got 756,000 from Senegambia. This is the source BBC, by the way. You got Senegambia, Sierra Leone, Bida Benin, Bida Bani, West Central Africa, 5.7. Look at these numbers, y'all. 756,000, 389,000, 2 million, 1.6 million, 5.7 million. They hit Madagascar, Southeast Africa, 543,000, 1.2 million, 337. Look at these numbers. And where did they take us? Well, they took some of us to Europe. They took some of us to North United States, North America, Northern United States, my bad. Chesapeake, Carolinas, Georgia. I'm from North Carolina. You might want to reconsider that, buddy. Gold Coast. I didn't even know we was born here from the Gold Coast, man. You got Cuba. We know they hit Cuba and Dominican Republic. You got Jamaica, Spanish Caribbean mainland. And then you got this big continent down here where a lot of black folks don't know. It's a lot of black people. It's a lot of black people down here with dark black skin that get ridiculed and insulted, and they get marginalized. So as you can see, 337,000 was about right here. So when you look at the numbers that they say consist of when you look at the U.S. Census, think about these numbers: 756,000 from Senegambia, almost 400,000 from Sierra Leone, 2 million, 11 million. Look at all these numbers, man. So, uh, question is, how many of y'all? I mean, how many of us do we think it is now? You know, because this is just the estimate. As y'all can see, this is just an estimate. They say while we will never know the exact number, we may never know a precise number, but current estimates hold that more than 1 million Africans died on the journey. No, that's not what I'm looking for. It is estimated that over the 300 years, that between 15 million and 20 million. So if we look at the population of Black Americans today, that directly correlates to the amount of Africans that was kidnapped and enslaved. Before I let y'all go, let this video get too long, we'll talk about what happened when the Europeans arrived from Portugal on the West African shores. So when Europeans arrived along the West African coast, slavery already existed on the continent. However, in the book The African Slave Trade, Basil Davidson points out that slavery in Africa and the brutal form of slavery that would develop in the Americas were vastly different. African slavery was more akin to European serfdom. They call them serfs. The European condition of most the condition of most Europeans in the 15th century. Sorry about that. In the Ashanti Kingdom of West Africa, for example, slaves could marry, own property, and even own other slaves. And slavery ended after a certain number of years of servitude. More importantly, African slavery, was never passed down from generation to another generation. It lacked the racist notation that whites were masters and blacks were slaves. So the difference between the slavery that existed before we were slaves and the slavery that existed while we were slaves is that you was never a slave because you was black or because you was white. But after the Catholic Church got in and used their money or made some money off of it, they started saying, well, hey, it's super lucrative to enslave black folks, so we just only go enslave black folks. So they only enslave black folks. You know, we were strong, we were smart, and I guess, you know, we bred good, so, you know, it was apparently marketable for them to you know, it was good business for them. I don't know how you explain these things, man. But we can see that in the ancient world existed two different types of slavery. One where you was a slave, you couldn't do anything, you had no freedom, and you know, another type of slavery where you could gain your freedom. So what happened before we were slaves? Before they came to the coast of West Africa in 1492. Well, we had these ancient civilizations before we were slaves in 1492. We didn't only have Egypt. We had they want to call it medieval West Africa, but it was during the medieval times, during the times when you had castles and knights, kings and queens, you know, like a storybook, like you do now. So again, when the Portuguese first explored the West African colonies coastline in the 1400s, the cultures of African societies were highly advanced and had been so for centuries. In 1,000 years before Portuguese exploration, 3 large centers of medieval African civilization developed sequentially along the west coast of sub-Saharan Africa. So while the Portuguese was exploring, Africans was building civilizations right alongside them. Islamic scholars and African oral traditions tell us that all of these states had centralized governments, long-distance trade routes, and educational systems. So what did we have as black people before we were slaves? We had centralized governments, long-distance trade routes, and educational systems. What were some of the civilizations that we had other than Egypt? Well, we had ancient Ghana, we had Mali, we had the Songhai Empire, which combined the empires of Ghana and Mali into one empire, into what you see today as Nigeria. And I can show you that on a map, this map. As y'all see, this is the Songhai Empire, and this is where Nigeria will be, well, is in this area right now. You know, this is the Ghana Empire, this is the Mali Empire, this is the Benin Empire, this the country. So yeah, this is where we stole it from. This is where we were stolen from. This is where our empires were. So we were smart. They knew where their intelligence was. So they stole the knowledge and then they stole us. They got like 2 for $1, man. It's pretty bad. Hashtag 2 for $1. What else? Also, who? That's what I want to talk about. So when we talk about who backed Christopher Columbus and all these cats, all these dudes, you had Queen Isabella the First, Ferdinand the Second, a whacked out family tree of 1500s Europe brought to you by these guys. So as you can see, Queen Isabella is related to Catherine of Aragon, which is related to Henry the 5, 6, 7, 8 of England. It's related to Annie, and all these people, Queen Elizabeth of England, Queen Mary of England. Look at all this stuff, man. All these people is related. They enslave you, and it's just related at the same time, man. Look at this. King Edward III. He spawned boom, 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 boom. He spawned all of them. It's the same family. You say, who financed slavery? The Catholic Church, the Spaniards, the British, England. These are the people who has money but behind slavery, and still to this day capitalize on slavery. These are the same people who own your education but won't give you a real education. Why am I here telling you, about your history? Hey, my gotta do it right. So this is more food for thought, y'all. Like I said, this is just the second video, and probably a series of videos of the real connection, the real unbiased connection between Christianity and slavery. When the pastor ain't gonna go in depth about and show you. But I digress. To each his own, respectfully. And I'm just go ahead and tune out. And as always, are you really woke? Peace out.